Hey everyone, and welcome back to Dozer, where today we'll be taking on the final level in this post-game content stuff in this game. And yeah, this final secret level, hidden compartment, will also feature a lot of balls. So yeah, today we'll be playing with a lot of balls. So overall, this level will feature a lot of dangers, a lot of obstacles in your way. Similarly to the previous second part of that level, if you remember, where there were a lot of lasers. Only here something similar will happen as well, only there will be no lasers, but, well, balls. That's right, there will be a lot of these Fushigi balls. So if you remember how these Fushigi balls work, you cannot damage them, you can only evade them, and yeah, if you touch them, then they'll deal damage to you. And as you can see, for example, here, this pink Fushigi ball is just circling around a small part of this room, and surprise surprise, when you drill through these yellow blocks that are kinda blocking the way of that ball, then that ball kinda squeezes into the next section. So basically, these freaking balls, the more you go through this whole corridor there, for example, the more you go through it, the more these balls will be chasing you. And the same thing applies to blue balls as well, not only pink ones, so they basically work the same way. And here, yeah, probably this will be one of the first sections where you have the most trouble with. So you have to get the timing right here in order to advance forward. As you can see, when you take damage in midair, Jill is getting knocked back and she just can't reach that place where you need to go. So basically, I was bashing my head against the wall here a bit. As you can see, Jill is not happy. So yeah, this whole level will take you some time to go through. There'll be two treasures in this whole level. First treasure will get kinda like midway through the level, and the final treasure will be in the final room of this whole level. So overall, yeah, this level will feature, well, like I said before, a lot of balls. And also, this level will feature a lot of rooms which are very big, and you'll have to platform a lot in these whole rooms. So basically, what I mean is that there will be a lot of sections where you'll have to climb upwards to reach the spot where you need to go via platforms, right? But yeah, all these jumps are pretty hard to make, so basically what will happen, you can fall down right at the top where you need to go, you know. You can just fall down right at the bottom, and then you have to kind of start over that whole platforming segment. So what makes this whole platforming segment, like all of them in this level, particularly hard are, well, balls. Yep, because as you can see, for example, here we have this jelly block which we need to use to climb upwards by using our drill, right? But yeah, you need to get the timing right there as well to actually, well, use it, you know, drill into it, then bounce to the other jelly block, and so on and so forth. Because yeah, once again, when you well, touch these balls, you'll take damage, so be careful, really. So you have to be really quick and really precise with your drill. So take your time in these big platforming segments in this level, because level, you know, won't run away anywhere. So you should definitely take your time here so that you can proceed further, so that you know what to expect, so that you can learn how these balls are moving, you know, and so that you can act accordingly, sort of. So yeah, for example here, as you can see, you may think that you can just evade the ball and then just jump to that other side of that jelly block, you know, in order for you to drill into it and then proceed forward that way by bouncing out of it, you know. But well, you need to get the timing really precise there to actually do that. So yeah, here, for example, I failed. So I need to start all over again. So yeah, as you can see, a lot of Fushigi balls. So hopefully you enjoy playing around with them, because we'll be doing that a lot in this whole level. So I also like how in this particular part, as you see here in the background, there was this kind of like drawing of an arrow, which says, hey, go right, that's the correct place where you need to go, you know. So yeah, that's a nice attention to detail here. So, okay, let's try again. Let's play around with this Fushigi ball a bit more carefully here. So yeah, as soon as you evade that ball, you have to not jump on that block and then drill into it. No, you have to kinda, with that one single jump, jump directly to the other side of that block to drill into it, and then, yeah, you have enough time to reach the second gear on your drill so that you can jump to the other block. So, as you can see, yeah, like I said before, there will be a lot of times when there will be these sections where you have to climb a lot and you can just fail these sections right at the top of them. So here was the first example where I just failed to jump properly here to reach this door. So, alright, and yeah, to go through this door you need second gear, so if you forgot to grab it, so surprise surprise, you have to go back, you know, grab it first and then go through that tedious Fushigi ball section to go through that door. So again, in this room we have some more Fushigi balls to play around with, only here, yeah, again, some platforming we need to do, but here it's kind of like more clever and also timing based. So we have these platforms which are kinda going from one side to another, and the trick here is to hide into your ball mode so that you are not being damaged by these Fushigi balls, as you can see. And then you need to get the timing right so you have enough space, you know, to jump. And yeah, then you can move and advance forward that way, upwards. It's really hard to get the timing right sometimes because, as you can see, in this game the movement is really slow overall, so Jill is moving really slowly, even when she's jumping, so yeah, you need to get used to it. But you know, if you made it so far into the game where we are like at the last secret level already, then I think you wouldn't have too much trouble with that. So yeah, overall, this level I consider to be the second hardest level in the game. The first hardest level in the game we already experienced in the previous episode, you know, that second part of that level where there were a lot of lasers. But this level is also hard, yeah, simply because many things in this level can kinda knock you out, you know. And yeah, like I mentioned before, a lot of sections where you need to traverse upwards, a lot of platforming sections, and something can just hit you in midair, for example, you know, some random Fushigi ball, and yeah, then you have to kind of start over on that whole platforming segment. So you can take a lot of damage in this whole level. Yeah, you see my health, for example, I'm halfway. So yeah, it's only the beginning, basically, of the level, but I already took, like, so much damage. Well, simply because of these balls, you know. So, as you can see, for example, here, platforming is really tight. We don't have too much space to stand on these platforms, these small ones, like at all, so watch your step here, really. So yeah, in this section, what makes it hard are, of course, these Fushigi balls, because sometimes these small little platforms, yeah, you see there are these Fushigi balls circling around them, so you have to be really quick and, yeah, careful there, like, for real. So at the top there is our first treasure, but as you can see we have this freaking stupid platforming section to go through to actually reach it. So once again, keep your timing straight, right, in this whole place. Take your time on these platforms so you can just take a breather and then act accordingly, you know, once you figured out how these balls are moving. There's not too much complicated stuff in regards to these balls. They're just moving on a set cycle and that's it. It's just that, you know, some balls, they're moving much more quicker than the other Fushigi balls, and the other Fushigi balls, they are just moving much more slower than the previous Fushigi balls, you know. And yeah, that's why you need to kind of figure out which are moving slowly, which are moving too fast, and stuff like that. So here, the particular trouble arises when you are standing on this platform here. So you see this freaking ball there to the left, it's just moving so freaking fast. So you, yeah, for example, if you touch it, you just get knocked back, you know. and then you kind of start all over again, climbing upwards from this particular part. So yeah. What can I say? This level, in general, it's kind of pretty sucky level. In terms of damage, it's yeah, one of the most tedious levels in the entire game. So we have kind of like two different kinds of Fushigi balls in this whole level. So one kind of Fushigi balls we already experienced, you know, these blue orbs and these pink orbs. But there are also the second kind. We also have explosive Fushigi balls, which, if I remember correctly, only appear in Final Room. But oh boy, that room is, yeah, really tedious. I think I spent 1 hour only on that final room alone in this whole game. It's pretty ridiculous, what can I say, so... And of course, like in all these secret levels in post-game, your scouting mechanic helps here a lot, just to know what to expect when you are going through this level, you know? So anyway, here we get our first treasure in this whole level, Skull Badge. And yeah, for receiving it, our rank is upgraded, so now we are Master Thief. That's my daughter! We'll catch you eventually. So yeah, once we reach one more treasure, once we get it, then our rank will be maxed out. So now, yeah, we are done with half of this level, so now comes the second half. So the whole second half of this level will be devoted to this particular room, which is actually the final room in this entire level. So yeah, this level, this room in particular is really interesting because there's a lot of trial and error. That's why I spent almost 1 hour on this room alone, so that I can figure out how it works, you know. As you can see, there will be a lot of platforming and a lot of blocks and platforms in this level. So now we have a third gear, so things will be kinda much more easier now that our drill is maxed out. And yeah, surprise surprise, when you drill into these yellow blocks, well, then these explosive Fushigi balls are revealed. So if you remember how they work, yeah, they are usually hidden in these yellow blocks. Not all of them, but most of them. And when you expose them, after a while, they just explode. So you cannot deal with them, you cannot drill into them and stuff like that. No, you just have to go away, you know, so that you're not taking damage from them, and that's pretty much it. But as you can see here, going away, well, is not kinda working, because you just don't have places to go, you know? Places to hide from the explosions of these Fushigi balls. So what you actually have to do here, you have to split this whole level kinda like into sections, into platforming sections, and take one section at a time. So that's why I say that this whole part is trial and error, simply because you need to figure out how to go about each and every section. So here's the first section, for example, as you can see. So if you remember how these explosive Fushigi balls work, yeah, usually there are kinda like many bombs at the same time, and when you execute one bomb, you know, when you make it explode, then this whole chain reaction is initiated, and then the other explosive Fushigi balls are revealed, and then they explode, and so on and so forth. So basically you execute a chain reaction, basically. And sometimes these explosions from these Fushigi balls, you can use them to your own advantage, because as you can see, the knockback from the explosion, of course, is really big, but sometimes that explosion can actually yeah, lead you to the place where you need to go. But it's really hard to figure out, because you cannot predict where the explosion will launch you. But usually, you know, if you're standing to the left side of the explosive, then it will kinda knock you to the left side. If you're standing to the right side, it will knock you to the right side. So it's just that, you know, the hang time in the air, you cannot figure it out. You cannot figure out how long you will fly, you know, if it makes sense, when that explosion hits you. What I recommend about this whole section is that usually concentrate on the upper yellow blocks. Simply because when you're drilling into the upper yellow blocks, then of course, yeah, the bombs will be exposed. But as you can see, how the chain reaction works is that the bombs closer to that bomb which exploded are revealed first. So basically, if you're exposing upper bombs first, then it will mean that you will have a space to traverse on the lower blocks, you know, if it makes sense. So, as you can see, for example, here, you must drill into that big block, and then you have to hug this block, which is down there, and keep on drilling forward to drill through all of these blocks, and then you have to kind of reach this place very, very fast, you know, when all these bombs are exploding. So yeah, this whole place, yeah, like I mentioned before, trial and error place. So yeah, you'll be spending a lot of time in this one room in particular. What can I say? So this particular place is really, really tricky. So the trick here is to drill into one of the blocks, then quickly bounce backwards, reach that jelly block to the right, then bounce out of it back to these yellow blocks, you know. And yeah, then bounce backwards to that jelly block again, and then stay on that jelly block once all the chain reaction is initiated, once all of the explosives, all of the fushigi balls are exploded. So basically, yeah, once you execute that chain reaction, then you have to just stay on that jelly block, so that all the bombs are out of your way, you know, and yeah, then bounce backwards to that platform to the left there. So also remember that the bombs are not exploding right away. There is maybe some 2 seconds or so, basically there is some time where you can just stand on them before they explode, you know, so you can act accordingly. So remember, yeah, that as well. So as you can see here, I almost reached that treasure. I almost got it, but yeah, once again, it's really hard to predict these explosions, so I didn't knew how I will fly, you know, from that explosion. And yeah, I just did not had enough hang time in the air to reach that final treasure. And here, that was just random jump here, and for whatever reason I just landed on the platform. So I think I'll just suicide myself here, because what other option do I have? I don't have other options, so poor Jill, what can I say? So alright, let's try to go through this section once again. Let's drill into that upper block so that the whole chain reaction is initiated, and let's try to do something here, but no. And once again, I was not planning to land on this platform like at all. I thought I'll die, but yeah, I just landed on the platform for whatever reason. But, once again, you know, what could I do? Because once you land on these platforms from the top, for example, there's nothing you can do, really. Because, well, you already kinda exploded all your path, you know. So, what can you do? Just suicide yourself, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I already kinda showed you what should you do about all these sections in this whole level. So now we are going through this whole section in one go, so that you can see what you need to do, you know, when you're like going through this whole room, you know. So basically everything that I showed you is kinda shown here when you're, yeah, doing this whole room in one go. So yeah, this particular section is pretty tricky. As you can see, you have to kinda drill from that upper bomb when it is already exposed to the lower yellow block, and then you have to kinda bounce out of it to reach that jelly block to the right. So alright, so this part. So here you actually have to take advantage of the explosion of the bomb. Just like that, to reach, yeah, this final treasure here. So so here we get, yeah, final treasure, Bone Bell. And our rank, yeah, is upgraded to the final rank, which you can receive in this game. So now we are Crime Boss. You're the real big boss. We'll never catch you. So yeah, that's what Jill gets when she's playing too much with these fushigi balls. well, she gets the final rank in the game, Crime Boss. So, and also the music changes here as well when you get this final rank. So yeah, it's pretty nice. But yeah, overall, I really like this final room in this final level. It's very painful. You can take quite a lot of damage, quite a lot of beating in this final room alone, but it's a really cleverly designed room. So, but yeah, in the final part, I don't think there is some other way to reach this platform, because as you can see from that right platform to the right, you cannot just reach that upper platform where I'm standing currently just by jumping. So basically you have to use the knockback from that explosion to actually reach this final treasure. So, but yeah guys, hopefully you enjoyed all these secret levels, because we are actually done with all of them. So you may think that, well, you know, secrets are already over, we already done everything in this game, but it's actually not true. There is, well, even more secrets in this game. If you remember the Red Dozer's training course level, that level where you can just train, you know, how to play this game, kinda. There is one metal block there, and yeah, that metal block actually leads you to some interesting stuff. So, but let's check out these two treasures that we got in this Fushigi Ball level, you know. So let's check out the first one. Let's see, Bone Bell. The small bell was made from the bones of an unknown animal. Nice. Ball Bell. Yeah, I wish it was, you know, so... Alright, and Skull Badge. The skull-shaped badge seems to be reversible. Yeah, it's pretty interesting treasure, because if you look at from the one point of view, it kinda resembles a skull, and if you look at upside down, then it resembles, well, the main villain from the movie Scream, you know. And yeah, this badge, it's also the symbol of the Skulkers. So... and yeah, we are Crime Boss now, so... we are a big boss, you know. So... we got all the treasures in the game now, you know. We're cool, we're awesome. And yeah, that's everything treasure-wise. So once again, in case you maybe haven't watched some of the episodes where we got some of these treasures, I'll kinda skip through all of the treasures here so you can see how all the treasures look like, what are their descriptions, and stuff like that. But yeah, speaking about Red Dozer's training course level, there is one metal block which we can drill through, and if you do that, you kinda get to one pretty interesting room, where there will be kinda like a lot of numbers, if it makes sense, and there are a lot of things that you can actually do with these numbers. You can get wallpapers, you can get costumes, and you can get some other stuff in this game as well. So we are not exactly done with this whole Let's Play. I'll still have 2 more episodes which will be devoted to that one secret room alone, because like really guys, there's so much stuff that you can still get in this game. All of it, it's pretty interesting, so stay tuned for that. So, and also what's interesting about all that secret stuff that you'll see a bit later is that game is not telling you how to get it. What exactly I mean you'll see in these upcoming 2 episodes, but yeah, all that stuff that you can still get in this game, it's pretty cryptic. The game is not giving you even hints how to obtain all these things. So basically, in that level we'll be inputting a lot of codes, but how to actually get these codes, game's not telling you like at all. So if you have an idea, you know, where you can get these codes in-game, let me know, because I have really no idea how people discover all that stuff, like for real. I think they are just cracking the game cartridge and then they are figuring out all that stuff, but yeah, in-game, you know, the thing is that in-game you cannot figure out these codes like at all. So it's yeah, pretty cryptic place, what can I say, so... But yeah, how exactly cryptic is that place? Well, we'll actually find out in the next 2 episodes. But for now, yeah, this is it for all these torturous levels. So hopefully you enjoyed all this torture. Yeah, overall, very, very challenging stuff. I consider this whole post-game content stuff, these whole secret levels, even harder than the main game itself, you know. So yeah. But anyway, guys, yeah, thank you very much for watching. So next time we'll visit Red Dozer's training course and see how cryptic that level actually is. So, cheers!